Hi, I'm Daniel Andrews, owner and creator of AndrewsFootball.com, and I'm going to start this off by kind of apologizing for some bad fantasy football advice, but I'm going to get some good fantasy football advice. I told my buddy Caleb here, who's one of the greatest people on planet Earth, by the way, I told him to go ahead and take Jacksonville over the Saints defense this week, and he went ahead and listened to me, and he really hates me right now. Now, here's the thing. After this interception and after the safety, I was feeling really good about my prediction. Then I just watch him quit, and this leads me to believe is Doug Marrone safe? When you got a team that went to the AFC Championship game just quit on primetime television, that says quite a bit. You got an offensive mind like Mike McCarthy who's available during the offseason. This may be something to consider. Defense got enough talent in Jacksonville that they can go ahead and they'll be fine on their own, but you need to fix that offense, and Mike McCarthy would be a perfect fit. It might be something that Jacksonville continues or at least pursues after the season's over. Jacksonville's team after the season's over, I'm going to be really interested to see what they do. But I'm going to backtrack because I went on a rant there. I'm going to help my boy Caleb out here. Now, here's the deal. Melvin Gordon is a starting running back. He's got Jalen Richard. By the way, he's in a PPR league, so that's points per reception for those of you that don't know this. And Jalen Richard, receiving back, that's a great pickup. Very smart of you for him to go ahead and pick him up. But he's also starting Rashad Penny. Now, I did some research for you. Carson's going to play. I told you earlier in the week he's going to play. I double-checked. He's 100% going to be able to play. By the way, Baldwin's questionable. He sat out of practice. I know you're going to flex him. I know you're going to keep an eye out on it. Plus, I know you're watching my video. So make sure you pay attention to that, though, if he doesn't play. Andrew's football fantasy football tip: if a player's hurt and a player's not going to play, don't start him. Boom! What else do you need to know? Okay, obviously I'm being a little facetious here, but bottom line, here's what you do. He put in waiver claims for Jordan Howard and Josh Adams. You want to start Howard if you can get him over Penny over Adams. Okay, Jordan Howard scored touchdowns in the last 4 games. The way the Bears want to play this game is their quarterback's got a bad right shoulder. He's right-handed quarterback, obviously. So what they want to do is shorten the game up against a high-powered offense. All right, they want to keep it short. They want to run the ball. They want to control the clock. I expect Jordan Howard to have anywhere between 15 and 25 touches. It'll be closer to 15 if the Rams, get out to a big lead. If it's close, he'll have around 25. I do expect a touchdown out of him. As far as Josh Adams, if you get him this week, I don't expect him to do much against Dallas, but hold on to him because I think he's going to be a larger part of Philly's plans the last couple of weeks. So it's good pickup. So hopefully Howard, Penny, Josh Adams. All right, next thing I want to touch base on is my girl Renisha. She left a couple comments on my last video, and she left some really, really smart comments. First thing she said is my Chiefs will bounce back at home with that W. Hell yeah, they're going to bounce back at home. I know, I'm going to be there. Not only are they going to bounce back, they're going to cover 6.5. Andrew's football tip number 1. Chiefs cover 6.5 this week. I really like this game. Yes, I'm fully aware that Lamar Jackson's won his last 3 games as a new starting quarterback of the Ravens. Let me throw out some numbers for you. 5, 2, and 4. That's the amount of wins that the teams have that the Ravens have beaten. You know what the Chiefs have? 10. Here's another number, 5-0 at Arrowhead. That's what the Chiefs are. It's going to be 6-0. I really like this matchup because the Ravens have an excellent defense. A very physical, tough secondary, but the one thing they lack is speed. They got Brandon Carr and Eric Weddle. Both are on the wrong side of 30. And here's the problem. What they want to do is they want to play press, man coverage. They want to be physical. They want to be tough. So what the Chiefs are going to do is you're going to see a lot of 3, 4, 5 wide receiver sets. They're probably going to bracket Tyreek Hill. Watkins, I'm expecting not to play. It's not going to be that big of a deal. Chris Conley last week had a touchdown. Demarius Robinson had some big catches. You're going to see a lot of those guys in there. Travis Kelce's going to be big. I know he had a big week last week. He's going to have a big week this week. He needs to have a big week because what you want to do is you want to keep those defensive linemen and those linebackers that the Ravens have off the field. You want to see more defensive backs because they're slower, they're bigger, and you're going to see a lot of Andy Reid using that to his advantage, especially with a strong-arm quarterback. And an offense on the Ravens side, they're going to try to play ball control. So the Chiefs, you're going to see a lot of spreading out the offense. You're going to see a lot of passing. You're going to see a lot of touchdowns. Chiefs cover 6.5. Second thing she said was a really smart comment, and I'm kind of paraphrasing this here in a little bit. She's like, Dan, I don't know about the Rams winning because it's going to be cold in Chicago. Maybe they're not going to play that well in the cold. Brilliant thought, and this is how you know that somebody's really educated on football. She's looking at the weather report, and she's like thinking to himself, hey, look, Rams, LA, Chicago in December. Maybe it's not a good fit. Here's the thing. I already checked the weather report, though. It's going to be 30 degrees, no wind. I've been to Arrowhead over 300 times. 30 degrees, no wind is perfect weather in December. Trust me. These guys, you're going to see a lot of them without sleeves on. It's perfect weather. It's not that big of a deal. You know what is a big deal? When it's below 30, you got about 10, 15 mile an hour wind, and you got a little bit of precipitation. You know where that is? Green Bay. You know who's coming up to Green Bay? Atlanta. You know where Atlanta plays? In a dome. That's why you want to take Green Bay in 4.5. I've been checking the weather reports here. Here's the deal. I've been up to Green Bay in the wintertime, and I didn't think about it. Maybe you do, but Green Bay's surrounded by water. Okay? When it gets cold and that wind whips on the water and it comes out at you, oh boy, it just zips right through you. It is brutal. It is really brutal. Plus, you got Joe Philbin making his debut as head coach. The rumor mill is that Aaron Rodgers and Joe Philbin really get along. They really liked each other. 4 years Philbin was up there. Apparently, Aaron Rodgers liking you is extremely important in keeping your job as the Green Bay head coach. So I really think, if you watched my last video, I said Philbin, I expect him to be the Green Bay Packers' next head coach going into 2019. And I think that's what's going to happen. I think it starts now with a win over Atlanta. And this, by the way, is dropping. It was 5.5. Now it's 4.5. Take full advantage of it. So not only do you get Chiefs 6.5, take Green Bay at 4.5. I got one more. And I've been eyeballing this. I've been waiting on this. I've been waiting on it, and it finally happened. It dropped to 3. You know what I'm talking about. It's Monday Night Football. Seattle was 3.5-point favorite. Now they're only 3. You get the field goal here. And then you guys know I like Minnesota, but I hate the offense. You're throwing the ball 70% of the time. Why? You have a bad offensive line, and you're going to throw the ball. You're ruining the number one thing that you have, and that's this great defense, because you're trying to win shootouts when you need to be winning low-scoring games. All right, you have a great defense. You want to give offenses fewer chances to attack them. That's common sense. Trying to win shootouts, 3 and out, quick scores, you ruin the number one thing that you have. You really want to shorten a game, and they haven't been able to figure it out. That's why they're not doing as good as they were last year when they ran the ball more. Seattle, Carson's going to play. Baldwin may not. Keep an eye on that, Caleb. But you got Chris Carson. You're going to run the ball. You got a defense playing hot. Plus, Seattle in prime time, it's a tough place to play. I want to call it the Kingdom, Bird's Nest, not as loud as Arrowhead. Not even close. But that's okay. It's still a tough place to play. I expect them to cover 3. So, by the way, if you're new to Andrew's Football, one reason to subscribe is it makes all the while the streams come true. And if you notice, there's a button just right down there. And bam! Hit that button. Become one of the greatest people on planet Earth. And until next time.